While the elite field battle it out for line honors, Terry Kennedy will just be glad to finish the race. After an incredible run of bad luck, Terry is hoping to turn his life around and is running the Melbourne Ironman in honor of his family.
The story for me started about 18 months ago when my son Archie was born with a rare brain condition called septo-optic dysplasia, and that condition affects some of his motor skills and his ability to think and whatnot, so he's slightly delayed in those aspects, and we sort of spent the first 3 or 4 months in Westmead Hospital there. I was about 30 kilos overweight at that point in time and decided that, okay, a change was needed, and at that point in time my father was also diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer, and he'd run some marathons in his younger days, and I decided that the best way to sort of get past this was in honour of Archie and my dad, and my other son Jackson, was to run a marathon.
If things seemed they couldn't get any worse, they soon did. Incredibly, during training, Terry himself had a stroke.
Out of nowhere had a stroke and subsequent heart attack, which sort of left me clinically dead and without the ability to see, walk or talk for a little while there. Sort of brought me to, you know, the story that is, I guess, today. It was at that point where I'm lying there sort of fighting for my final breath, or what I thought would have been my final breath, and then 2 or 3 months then became about recovery, and as soon as I could walk again, I signed up to do the Melbourne Marathon in October last year.
After the stroke, Terry was having trouble even walking, and so a neurologist gave him a piece of advice that would change his life forever.
I went and saw the neurologist and said, "You've got to help me out, Doc, with my balance. It's becoming an issue for me." So he said, he suggested that I cycle and swim, which brings me here to today.
After everything he's been through, completing an Ironman should be the easy part.
Every time I'm out there in a training session when it gets hard, and I think about my son, my dad, my family, everything they've had to go through, and I think, well, this is nothing compared to what those guys have had to go through, so just suck it up and get on with it.
To help Terry through the emotional journey, his wife Brioni will leave family photos placed in envelopes to inspire him on the run home.
And the remarkable Terry Kennedy, what a story. Less than 6 months ago, had not swum 50 metres or ridden a kilometre on a bike in around 15 years. Just over a year ago, suffering a stroke that led to a heart attack. And here he is today. He's completed the swim leg and now 180 Ks on the bike. What an inspiration.
Anybody who says they can't, there's too many hurdles, they need to look at the story of Terry Kennedy.
Meantime, we've been following the inspiring story of Terry Kennedy. Basically had to learn how to walk, let alone run again, after a stroke and a heart attack, and here he is in his first Ironman event.
Yeah. Feeling all right. Legs are a bit gone, but we'll see what happens on the run.
He's doing it for his dad and for his kids. What a story, Terry Kennedy.
Over halfway through the run, and Terry's legs are getting weary as he struggles to keep up the pace.
Body's seen better days, but nothing's stopping me.
The race continues to take its toll, and Terry is in a world of pain. Now with just 8 kilometers to the finish, he opens his last envelope, and he's brought to tears by the sight of his beautiful baby boy. And it's enough to spur him on for the final push to home. Well after the professional athletes have finished the Ironman, and now well into the night, Terry Kennedy completes the race, much to the delight of his family and friends. Despite all the odds, all the challenges, and all the reasons to give up, Terry Kennedy proves to himself and the world that if you put your mind to something, there's nothing you can't achieve in life.
The body had given up, but the mind kept going, so I was determined to run the whole thing. So
what kept you going, bro?
Yeah, I don't know, just the support of the family and friends and everyone that's been there. You on the course was great as well, pushing me along, and obviously had some pretty spectacular photos that kept me going.
It was a photo of Terry in hospital and a photo of Archie in hospital, and I just had said that these are the 2 worst days of our lives, and if he gets through that, what doesn't kill him makes him stronger, and today he's an Ironman.
It's just the best thing ever. He was hoping for this. Since he was in hospital, he said, I want to do this Ironman. I want it. I'm looking forward to it so much, and I'm like, Dad, you're just gonna nail it, bro. You're gonna nail it.
You know, knowing that these guys were here at the end, so I feel on top of the world.
For a family who have been through so much heartache, Terry's accomplishment means the world. And it's a huge step forward in the family's road to recovery.